Hi everyone, my name is Anna. Welcome back to my channel and I hope you're having a great holiday season. Today I want to go over a dupe house that I tried recently called Champagne Socialist and whether or not their fragrances live up to the originals. I haven't heard much about this brand, only a TikTok here and there, so if you've ever tried anything from them, I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Before I get into it, I do want to say if you're not a fan of dupe houses, I totally understand and I totally respect that. However, for a broke girl like me, I'm just not dropping $400 to $500 on a perfume. It's not happening. But I do hope that this brand and others like it can help you experiment with fragrances that you might not be able to afford normally. The first 5 fragrances that I'm going to mention, I actually have not smelled the original, so I'm purely discussing my opinion on the product itself. The one I was most disappointed by was Vanilla Dossier, which is a dupe of Montale's Vanilla Extasy. I don't know if I get any vanilla in this. Just a quick overview of the notes. In the top, there's apricot and apricot blossom. The heart notes are vanilla, ylang ylang, and jasmine. Base notes are benzoin, sandalwood, mahogany, and resins. I don't know how to explain this, but this smells like a floral hand soap to me. It does not smell like vanilla. I don't even really get fruitiness. It's just like this weird, clean scent that's somewhat familiar, but I can't put a finger on why. It's just very perfumey. It doesn't feel like a gourmand. Again, I have not smelled the original, so I can't comment on whether this lives up to the performance of Vanilla Extasy, but it has moderate sillage and only lasts about 3 hours. The next one is Coffee Rum and Cyanide, which is a dupe of by Kilian's Black Phantom. This is not a bad scent at all. It's just a little bit too masculine for my tastes. I think I would like it on a man, but on me, it just comes off really, really bitter, and I like something a little bit sweeter and more decadent and yummy, but it does sweeten slightly after about an hour of wear. It's really woody, and as someone that's not a fan of patchouli almost ever, it's not too overpowering here. It actually reminds me a lot of Okja's Choco Break, which I also don't love. The only difference being that the chocolate in Choco Break is replaced with coffee in Coffee Rum and Cyanide. This also has moderate sillage and lasts about 6 hours on me, which is pretty decent in my opinion. Another dupe of a by Kilian fragrance, this time Forbidden Games, is Consensual Crimes. It has top notes of apple, peach, plum, and cinnamon, heart notes of Bulgarian rose, bourbon, geranium, and jasmine, and base notes of vanilla, honey, and apopanax. I'm just gonna say that. I don't like it. It's quite fruity. However, it has quite a distinct rose fragrance, which I know some people love. I can't do it. If you like a kind of like clean aquatic rose scent, I think you would like this. I really struggle with rose, especially because I'm allergic to it sometimes. This has minimal sillage and lasts about 4 hours on me. We only have 2 more in the unfamiliar category. First up is Bottled Bourgeoisie number 1, which is a dupe of Baccarat Rouge. Shockingly, I have not smelled Baccarat Rouge before. However, I have smelled the extrait version. It was fine. I'm not a big lover of it, so sorry. It has top notes of saffron, jasmine, orange, marigold, heart notes of ambroxan, avernil, and amberwood, and base notes of fir balsam, cedarwood, and ambergris. Wait, I actually tested these quite a while back, and I wrote my notes like months ago. I don't know if it's just because it's been sitting and macerating or if my nose has just changed a little bit. This is much more pleasant than I remember. Still not something I would necessarily go for because it's quite powdery, and I kind of struggle with powdery scents. I feel like they give me a headache, but it's nice. It's very subtle and the sweetness isn't too overpowering. I might have to experiment with this some more. Not sure how this compares to the original, but it is really, really nice. The floral is just a little bit too sharp for me personally. I know from what other people have told me that Baccarat Rouge is quite beast mode and it lasts on clothes for days, but honestly, this has moderate sillage and lasts all day on my skin. I think it's totally worth it if you already like Baccarat Rouge and other similar fragrances. I would definitely recommend checking this out. I think you would probably get way more bang for your buck with this instead of the original. Finally, we have Mellow Fluidity, which is a dupe of Gentle Fluidity Gold. Has notes of nutmeg, vanilla, juniper berries, amber woods, coriander, and musk. Sadly, this is just not for me. It's kind of like if Bottled Bourgeoisie number 1 was turned a little bit more masculine and woody, and I just don't like it. It just comes off really sharp to my nose, and I do get that little bit of juniper berry, but on my skin it disappears immediately. Mellow Fluidity has moderate sillage, but only lasts about 3 hours on me, so maybe stick with the original, I don't know. Now let's get into the fragrances that I've actually compared 1-to-1 to the originals. Starting off with Black Cherry Liqueur, which is a dupe of Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Has notes of black cherry accord, bitter almond, griotte syrup, scent trick, don't know what that is, rose absolute or Peru balsam, and roasted tonka or purr. I do not understand half the words in that. In terms of the actual fragrance comparison, they're very, very similar. However, this one is just a little bit less deep and a little bit less complex. It also fades quite a lot faster than the original, which I think lasted all day on me, and this lasted about 6 hours. It's nice, but it's not as woody, it's not as sweet. It's not as nutty. It's a little bit more tart. Overall, I think there are way better cherry fragrances that you can buy, and especially cherry fragrances that are dupes of Lost Cherry. Next is Sophia, which is a dupe of by Kilian Princess. It has a top note of lemon, heart notes of green tea, ginger, peach, hedione, jasmine, and apple, and base notes of marshmallow, vanilla, and benzoin. I'm not the biggest fan of Princess in general. It's just not that marshmallowy to me. It's kind of flat and very, very light, and it fades within like 2 hours. Sophia is very similar, but even less marshmallowy. So it's not my kind of vibe. And it lasts just as long as Princess, which is about 2 hours. I recently learned that there is a difference between the Princess perfume and then the I don't need a prince to be by my side, but to be a princess, whatever the hell that one is called. And I tried that second one and it's way, way nicer. So I think I need to get a bottle of that. Anyway, oh great. It just started snowing and I have to drive across the city tonight. Oh god. Up next is Opium in the Night, which is a dupe of YSL's Black Opium. It has top notes of pink pepper and orange blossom, heart notes of coffee, jasmine, bitter almond, and licorice, and base notes of vanilla, patchouli, cedar, and cashmere wood. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Black Opium. I think it's nice, but I do prefer their Black Opium Le Parfum. Way, way sweeter and just more yummy. I find the white floral in Black Opium and Black Opium Extreme just way, way too overpowering. And it's nearly identical here. Honestly, putting them side by side, I couldn't even really describe much of a difference to you. They also both have moderate sillage and last about 7 hours on my skin. So if you're looking for a dupe for Black Opium, highly recommend this. Next is Fell Far from the Tree, which is a dupe of Kayali Eden Juicy Apple. I like Eden Juicy Apple. It's just a little bit too tart for my preference, but if you're looking for a dupe, this is pretty decent. Fell Far from the Tree is a little bit more powdery, which I actually like better, but it does have a little bit of a weaker sillage. That being said, both of them last about 4 hours on me, so I'm not super impressed with either of them. But if you do like a fruity fragrance, I think this could be a really good option for you. It has top notes of juicy red apple, black currant, pink grapefruit, and lychee, heart notes of wild berries, raspberry blossom, jasmine, and rose centifolia, and base notes of vanilla flower, amber crystals, sugared moss, and sensual musk. I don't really get strong florals in either this or the original, which is fine by me. Definitely red apple heavy with a little bit of grapefruit adding this tartness. Very nice, and honestly, I should be using the sample more because I do really like it. We're almost finished. The next is Toxic Sweetheart, which is a dupe of Love Don't Be Shy. It has top notes of neroli, bergamot, pink pepper, and coriander, heart notes of iris, jasmine, rose, honeysuckle, orange blossom, marshmallow, and base notes of musk, vanilla, civet, caramel, sugar, and labdanum. When I first smelled Love Don't Be Shy, I hated it. It was so floral heavy, and it took a couple of hours for the marshmallow to finally start hitting my nose. But after I wore it a couple of times, that sharp floral really smoothed out for me, and I really noticed the marshmallow a lot sooner. It's really become one of my favorite fragrances, though obviously probably not going to be buying a full bottle because that is expensive. Now, Toxic Sweetheart is an incredible dupe. It's just a little bit lighter and it doesn't have as strong of a sillage, but it's so sweet. The marshmallow is perfect and you still get those florals, but they're definitely not the star of the show. Really well blended. I think if you're looking for a dupe of Love Don't Be Shy, this is a great option, but I do think I prefer Oakja's Sweet Addict as a dupe. The opening is a lot less sharp and neroli heavy to me. Even though Love Don't Be Shy does have a stronger sillage, this still has moderate sillage and both of them last 6 hours on me. Next is Bonfire Night, which is a dupe of Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace. Now, I don't like By the Fireplace at first. The first hour of wear, it just smells like I'm in a meat smoking cabin. I've said it a million times. I can't stand it. Now, I'll give credit where credit is due. The smokiness that I get in By the Fireplace is not that acritic basic smoke smell that you get in a lot of like cheap candles, but it's still just so overpowering and strong. I literally don't get any vanilla until at least an hour in. That being said, once the vanilla starts coming through, it's delicious, but I'm not gonna waste an hour of my time smelling smoke when I don't like it. So anyway, that's all to say that I think Bonfire Night is actually worse. That deep smokiness from By the Fireplace is replaced here with that cheap acritic smoke smell. It has top notes of pink pepper, orange flower absolute, and clove oil, heart notes of chestnut accord, gaiac wood oil, and cade oil, and base notes of vanilla accord, Peru balsam, resinoid, and cashmere. It's basically just a lot more artificial smelling, and the vanilla doesn't come through nearly as much. Both have moderate sillage and last all day on me, but honestly, stick with the original. It's way better. It's just not it. It's not it. Finally, I have Half Baked, which is a dupe of By Kilian's Angel Share, one of my favorites. It has a top note of cognac, heart notes of oak, cinnamon, tonka bean, and base notes of praline, vanilla, and sandalwood. Right away, I'm gonna say Angel Share is better. It is what it is. Still really nice, but it's a little bit more appley and less boozy, and it's a lot lighter. Nowhere near as beast mode as Angel Share can be. I don't want to talk too much about it because I am planning on doing a deep dive of Angel Share dupes, but this is a really good option if you don't have anything else. Where Angel Share lasts all day on me, Half Baked lasts maybe 5 hours. Not the worst, especially considering the price, but I mean, Angel Share is so good. So that's everything that I got from Champagne Socialist. I hope that helped you narrow down any dupes that you might want to try. And let me know again if you've tried anything from this brand before. I would love to hear your thoughts. I have to head out and drive through the snow now, so wish me luck and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!